Hello scale modders, welcome to the third episode of the live stream that we are doing. In this episode we are going to continue with the build of the cockpit of our Messerschmitt Bf-108 from Eduard in 1/48 scale, and we are going to put some gloss coat on and some weathering wash. We're going to install the seat belts and we'll see what else we can do for the time we have. Without further ado, let me just switch the camera and let's do it. Okay, now before we actually put the gloss coat on, I'm going to paint some pockets on the side panels with some brown paint, and we'll later do some leather imitation, but for now we are just going to base coat it. I do not have almost any pictures of real military Bf-108, so I'm just using some other people's builds and some black and white pictures so I can kind of judge where everything is and how it looks, but you know, sometimes it may not be true, but it is what it is. I'm not really concerned about the right colors. I mean, who knows what the right colors are. So, do you give much attention to the right colors, or you just want to look okay? I mean, if it's the wrong shade, will you start repainting and or even ditch the model? A little bit less exposed, so it is better, you can better see it. We have one more pocket to do and we can move on to the next phase. We are going to paint everything with a gloss clear coat, and then after it dries we will apply a pin wash so our details can pop even more. While it is drying, we are going to apply the seat belts on the seats. but this is for a little bit later. Hello to fine kids. We're going to use this clear coat, and I hope it will be good enough for the job. And I'm going to put it through my 0.3mm nozzle airbrush. It should be good enough from the bottle, but I prefer to put a few drops of thinner. It is never a bad idea to thin the paint just a little bit. I'm going to apply this in lighter layers initially, so it can become tacky, the surface can become tacky, and then we'll put a heavier coat like that. The clear coat will protect the job that we have done before, and it will also improve the flow of the weathering wash, so we can have truly the effect of a pin wash and not some messy job, I hope. Hello Fishbet, thank you. Okay, so we are now finished with this part, and we are going to move on to the seat belts. To be fair, there are too many photo etched parts in this seat belt set that comes from Eduard, and it is from the box. Uh, there some parts are so tiny that you cannot see them, and I will not use them. Usually we are all about details, but it's just so small that it doesn't matter. I don't know if you can see, but here are the parts, and there are 4 parts that make each lap belt, and this is too much. So before you start applying your photo etch, I recommend getting a file, or not file but sander, or just some sanding sandpaper, and just make some scratches on the back side, because otherwise you can experience some difficulties with the sticking, with the adhesion. We're going to start with the seat belts for the front seat. I have already done one of the front seats, and it looks alright. We will do some more work on it, but it will be later. So first we're going to remove the photo etch parts from the tree, or whatever it is. I'm using a curved blade and a metal paperweight, and I'm going to cut as close to the detail as possible, so I'll have less material to remove with the file later. This will quickly kill your blade, but that's not a big issue. After we remove the part from the tree, we can sand it the remaining part of the holder with a flat file. Do not go like this. Just move along the long line, long side of the part that you are sanding, because otherwise you will just bend the photo edge. I'm going to use cyanoacrylate glue to glue the parts together, and I'm going to bend the photo edge using a tweezers with flat. I don't know what it is. If you want to know earlier when my live streams will be, you can follow my page on Facebook or my profile on Instagram. I will put them in the description after we finish with the live stream, and there I will be announcing the live streams few days before they happen. In Facebook and I suppose in Instagram you can just search for scale models and you will probably find me. Now these tiny parts we have to glue together. Okay, we have the first lap belt done. I'm gonna leave it here to dry so the glue can set properly. Now in this gluing these parts, too much glue will cause almost all detail to be filled with glue, so you have to be careful. Okay, this is done. To apply the glue, I am using the back and front part of stretch sprue. It is very versatile thing, the stretch sprue. Here it is, the second lap belt of this seat. Next thing we are going to do is to twist the belt a little bit, just so we can adapt the shape to the seat. And I'm going to do this using the tweezers. Okay, so let's try it. Okay, this looks good for me. A drop of super glue will be just fine. Of course, if you are not planning to be super aggressive with this. When we get some super glue onto the already painted part, it is going to get glossy, but I'm going to put the other belt on top of this, so I'm not too concerned about this. So, because I want to place the belt on a precise position, I'm first going to put it where I want it to be, and then I'm going to twist it so it can we can get this part on the side of the seat. But first I'm going to leave it a little bit so it can dry while I'm waiting. I will remove the shoulder belts. Hello to Sundowner from France and Ivan from Chile. Thanks for being with us tonight or today, and feel free to comment. That's for everyone. The seat belts are done, and I'm going to twist the lap belt. I'm going to press it and hold it so I don't snap it off while twisting it, and you can see that I damaged the paint, but that's not a problem. We can fix that later. I'm more generous with the glue on the sides, but these parts won't be seen, so it's not a problem. And while we are at it, let's just put some paint here. Okay, so now we're going to install the shoulder belts. They will go behind the seat, and then will be held by a bracket on the crossbar that goes across the cockpit. Okay, so I have bent it before I will put any glue on it. This way you don't have to hurry Sometimes photo etch parts can be quite intimidating especially for inexperienced modelers, but it's not something that anyone should be afraid of. Just a detail made from metal, that's all. You can glue it with super glue, and you can twist it, you can bend it. Of course, there are some limitations, but the details that photo etching provides are not easily achievable by injection molding. Of course, one of the things that photo etch cannot represent very well is three-dimensional effects. That's why you can see the manufacturers doing layers of photo etched parts, but still these layers are very thin and sometimes they are not enough to provide the necessary depth. When we start to weather the seats, we're going to apply some filters on the seat belts so they are not so bright, and this will help us achieve a little bit more warm and realistic look. Sometimes it will be necessary to reapply glue. Alright, this seat is finished. I mean, not finished, but it is going well, and we are going to continue, but not with seat belts. We are going to apply a weathering wash, and it will be from MIG. This is deep gray. It is very well suited for this color. I'm going to use to apply it with a long bristle brush because it holds a lot of liquid and it is sharp enough. You have to shake this product very well because the pigments are very fine and they settle on the bottom very fast. So you can see now how the surface tension created by the gloss coat just carries the uh, weathering wash in the inner corners. In the crevices. And when we have a good clear coat, it's actually very easy to apply this type of panel line wash. This technique is called pin wash because it's like we are applying the wash with something like a pin very precisely. There is another method. You can just almost paint it on the surface and then wipe it with a paper or something like that. And the two methods achieve a little bit different things. With the pin wash you are adding more shadows than dirt, while with the more broad approach you're adding a filter, dirty filter. While it is still wet, you can move the wash around. If it pulls up somewhere, you can use it on other places. It is very nice and very easy to use product. Not just this one, but all products of this type. I think that they're all the same actually. Just different brands. My advice is don't use black wash. It does not look good almost in all cases. Get some different colors, grays, greens, blues. There is so much choice that you can experiment. Black is just not right. Straight black. You can see how the liquid is just traveling along the edges by itself. The wash will make all the crevices much more prominent, and also the raised details will pop. There are places that probably won't be seen. You cannot be sure what will be, what won't be seen, so it's better to add your weathering everywhere, and then what won't be seen just won't be seen. Okay, I have to do some more shaking because the particles inside just started to go to the bottom, and I'm picking up just carrier. You see we have some riveting details here, and they will become visible only after we add some wash inside of them. This should be enough for this side, this part. Okay, this was too much. This is not a problem, we will remove it later. Okay, it is now time to give it some time to dry. And while it is drying, we are going to install the seat belts on the rear bench. But first I'm going to get some white spirit so I can clean up my brush. Okay, the brush is clean and it is time to make some more belts. And to put something that I have forgotten for the front seat. It is a part that sits over here over the belts. Thanks also from Hungary. I'm happy that you like my channel. But it looks like I'm not going to be able to put the back seat belts right now, because it's necessary to have the seat installed, which is kind of nasty because I don't want to install it right now. And in this case we are going to start removing the weathering wash. We are going to do this using a makeup applicator sponge. I'm going to cut it with scissors. It's not very easy, and I'm going to cut it in a wedge shape so I can have more precise control over it. Now I'm going to use up and down motions There will be some need of white spirit. I will put some on the sponge, but not much because I don't want to damage the paint. And this is done. You can also use tweezers, but you always run the risk of scratching the surface, so be careful if you do so. I think I will need some more white spirit. No, this thing broke off, so I need to quickly fix it in position. I have to be more careful. Or I'll just install it after I finish with the rubbing. Oh, come on, what's going on? I'm becoming a little bit reckless here. Okay. A bit more care is necessary. Okay, besides the little accident that we had, this is turning out nicely. Alright, so next thing, we're going to apply a flat coat so we can seal the wash and continue with the rest of the weathering. But first I have to glue this in place. Hello to York from Madrid. I hope I'm pronouncing your name right, or at least close to right. For the flat coat I'm going to use live color, and this is the flattest flat coat I have ever used. It is not the best paint in the world, but to apply, I mean, but it just has nice results, and that's why I use it. just will have to do some thinning, and I have to just remove the gloss clear from the beginning. I'm going to load the airbrush using airbrush because it's not that much of a quantity that I'm going to use, and I don't want to put any chunks of paint that are in the jar, because this paint tends to form big chunks that just will clog your airbrush. Okay. And check the difference between the flat coat and the gloss coat. Nice. Okay, the flat coat is on. And we are ready to apply a flat coat on this seat. So we can do some more weathering. Alright, so as far as this episode goes, we are almost ready. There is not too much time left, and I'm going to do just one thing, or maybe two. Let's see. I will paint this box here. It is supposed to be black, and I'm going to use a very easy solution. Come on, Bob, get the towel here. Sorry about this. I'm going to use a fine marker. It's 0.1. I suppose this is 0.1 centimeters, which means 1 millimeter. It's about that big, and I'm going to carefully use it to apply color to this switchboard or something similar. It is precise, it's easy. And I'll give it a coat of flat varnish. And there is very easy and effective way to paint your small details. There will be something very interesting coming in my mail very soon, I hope, which is in this realm, and I can't wait to test it and show you guys how it works. So one of those next times when we see each other, there will be interesting news. Until then, I think that we are finished for today. And let me just turn the camera. We are finished for today, and I hope you had a good time. You can watch my other videos, follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and until next time, happy modeling and goodbye, guys. See ya.